Welcome to Military Faith and Spiritual Resilience. This is Elizabeth Fulgaro. With me today is Renee Hamilton-McNealy, soldier and artist. Thank you for being here, Renee.
Thank you so much.
I'm so excited that you're here. Can we begin maybe with you sharing a little bit about how that artist part of you came to be?
Oh, that's just a wonderful question. So I realized I was an artist. I think I was about 7 years old. I just noticed that I saw and viewed the world differently. I enjoyed painting and coloring and sketching, and a lot of things were in my mind that I didn't see around me, and I wanted to bring them to life. And I had supportive parents who, provided the tools for me to do so at home. So I kind of knew what I wanted to be when I grew up from a young age. Just was interesting holding on to that.
So how did that then progress? So you had this, you just kind of knew that you were an artist and your parents were supportive. Were there any events along the way that confirmed that or distracted you? I mean, how did that kind of go from there?
Okay, so I just remember in second grade, I would do my schoolwork. I'll walk up to the teacher and have them grade it. I kind of would stand there because I wanted to know that I did a good job. And then I would go to the back of the class and start to paint or create. And I had a teacher who one day kind of just opened up what I was working on. And she paused. And honestly, I thought I was in trouble because I used the time differently. I rushed through the assignment, but I did well. And I created the space to create. And she just told me it was amazing and we had to do something with it. And before I knew it, that art was on display at an art gallery in South Florida. And it was amazing, but probably overwhelming for me at that age.
You were 7?
Yes.
So how did that roll?
I just remember telling my mom about it. And she was like, this is what you said you want to do. It's here. And was it the Norton Museum of Art? I have to double check. But for the exhibition, I went there. I remember seeing a lot of adults around. And I'm thinking because if it's on exhibit, I'm thinking there's kids. So there were many adults there. And then we went to this room where everybody was standing around. Oh, gosh, it feels good thinking about this. And I looked and I said, oh, that's mine. That's my, I painted that. A young little girl looked like me, curly hair, hand on her chin. And then when the museum goers heard to say, or like, oh, there goes the artist. That did something to me. It was overwhelming. It just confirmed that, hey, I am who I say I am. I'm doing what I want to do, but I wasn't really prepared to process it. It just seemed like a goal that was so far into the future, but it happened right then in that moment. And it's a moment that I always remember very vividly that kind of shaped my life even now.
That makes sense. So you were 7. How did art then accompany you? How did it manifest as you've been moving through your life?
Oh, goodness. It just feels like art has been more than the paint and the brush, and it really has. It has helped with the connections and relationships with other people, just change how I see the world. So, for example, I unfortunately kind of lost sight and connection with myself as an artist. And it was always a part of me, it was always in my mind. I kind of got busy in life doing great things that I don't regret. But I shifted into doing like professional makeup, becoming a licensed esthetician later on in adulthood, and then getting into painting, body painting as well as paint on canvas. But I had to find the artist again. She got a bit busy.
So what's the difference between you doing the body painting and doing the makeup and finding the artist?
Oh, this is wonderful. So the artist is just simply who I am. It's how I operate, how I view the world, regardless of what I'm doing. I was trying to navigate back to that 7-year old because I didn't really honor her as best as I wanted to or needed to. So in doing the makeup, it was great just to do so for events and shows. I wanted to learn more about the health of the skin, the body, hence going to get my license. But as I got more into body art, I realized it's more of like a healing journey for everybody involved. It's always more than the paint. There's always the conversations behind the why the person wants the experience or how they feel during and after. So it's just shifted with my state of mind and the power to create beyond the paint. I like that.
I like that too. So before I met you, I didn't know anything about body paint and body painting, and I'm still learning. Can you kind of give a mini lesson on what body painting is and how you came to it?
Sure. So think of like culturally around the globe, many different cultures used paint or different natural products, whether it was ceremonial or just or religious purposes or rites of passages. So there's always been a way of adorning the body as a temple or for a particular practice. When we think of body paint, it's more of the body is the canvas versus a canvas that can go on the wall or whatnot. So you can use stuff such as like water-based paint to create different designs. Just think of like maybe the clouds. I've painted clouds on someone just so they can view the human body a little bit different. We're not just who we are when we're clothed or when we're getting ready to get a shower or go to a doctor. It's a beautiful moment to exercise mindfulness with the body and see it as art. So there are products you would use for the body to be mindful and safe that are not the same that you would use for a canvas. So it's a lot of learning and educating and mindfulness with it.
So you've had to learn how to body paint, what products to use and how to proceed. I'm very intrigued by the thought where you said you see it as part of a healing journey. Mm-hmm. So talk to me a little bit about how you work with your clients and what you hope it accomplishes and what you've seen it do.
Oh, wonderful. So I have a very mindful approach. I like for people to feel safe. Emotionally, physically, that is very huge to me. I like to have a conversation initially because my experience has been that everyone states that it's always beyond what's happening in that moment. I like to understand their why. So before any kind of consultation, we're having discussion. Well, what makes you want to be painted? Why me? And from that, I tend to get is usually something bigger than I want to have beautiful photos, even though that's great. There was one time, there was a young lady who mentioned her interest to be painted. It took her about 1.5 years to do so, and I realized there was a little fear there. She viewed her body different since having children, and she just needed the conversation and the space. And talking to her to get her thoughts out, she realized, hey, why not? So I have to be able to connect with the person in their mind, what's going on in their life and their why. And then in this space, I'm a licensed esthetician, so I'm mindful things are cleaned, well prepared for them. A sanitary space, there's an area they can get dressed in their own space. Photographers who are trusted that I have worked with as well. But what I realized is that once they see themselves painted, isn't it out of body? I'll say out of body experience. I've had one who looked in the mirror and she stated, oh, wow, I really am beautiful. Oh. And that let me know maybe there are things in her life, to include her own mind, where she doesn't see herself that way, or people who may have experienced trauma or neglect or loneliness. It's a way to really connect back with oneself. So I'm very mindful of the music that is played, the scents, the space. I like to create more of a sacred space for them. Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. How do you decide what to paint? Like how the body gets painted and what parts?
Good deal. I let them drive it. Most often, a client or someone will say, hey, you're the artist. I'm like, you're right, and you're the canvas. This is something that we're going to create together. So I like to know their why, or if there's any theme, or they share images for inspiration. I've had someone who said she wanted to be painted like a butterfly. And I
Huh.
say, what does that look like to you? What does the butterfly symbolize? Because in that way, if we get the theme, the why, we can be sure that we can meet her intent and goal. I asked them to create like a mood board to share images that are inspirational. And then I'll create a final one to let them know, hey, maybe let's do this on the side or the back, or what positions communicate to you, and what do they how do they make you feel? And so we'll have something final that we agreed upon so we can manage expectations. And then on the skill and creative end, I'll decide, okay, I need to airbrush, or I need to do this freehand with brushes, or I need to get a sponge to bring this to life. And I walk them through it because I need it, like, for example, the water to be warm. I've worked in spaces where sometimes the water for the model wasn't. They need to feel comfortable as well. And so it's a collective effort in deciding it, but it's all about the meaning and the why. That's how we were able to create a good experience and meet their intent.
How did you get into this?
Oh,
How did
goodness.
you find this?
um, Actually, I was getting ready to go to a makeup class in LA. I decided I want to take myself more serious as an artist. I was licensed and I was planning to go to this makeup class. It was canceled the last minute because the artist got sick. And this was 2014 or 13, 2014. I was so irritated because I felt like I'm trying to tap back into the 7-year-old artist girl. And here's an opportunity and it's canceled the last minute. Is this a bad sign or something? And I just decided, I think I was scrolling online looking at something. I saw interns needed for a body paint photo shoot. And I was like, oh, darn, but it's this weekend. They probably already have who they need. I decided to email that artist. It's kind of a long email. And I mentioned how I've painted. I've never painted people. I've done makeup and I've done the upper body. I've extended the makeup to the upper body. But I really need to do something involving art and beauty this weekend. And then I went to assist this artist at the San Jose Museum of Art, and it just opened the door.
What did you see there? What did you experience there?
Well, I never thought about it like this. I was in the same space that I initially was in when I first honored myself as an artist as a kid.
Yeah.
I felt like, oh, this is successful. I was supposed to go to LA for a makeup workshop that got canceled, but I ended up being exactly where I need to be. So,
So did you participate in that body painting? Were you one of the models? Were you one of the artists? What did you do?
I was one of the artists. And again, mind blown, because what really touched me is when I got there, I told the artist, I said, thank you so much for letting me be a part of this. I've saw your stuff online. It was always interesting. I knew it was kind of later, but I didn't know if you need additional people. But when she said to me, well, I'm so happy you're here. I've seen some stuff that you shared online. And I just thought to myself, hey, I am somebody, but I wasn't doing so full time and consistent. But what I was creating was seen in a value. So that kind of pushed me to do what I can with what I have, no matter what it ends up looking like. It's still out of me. She trusted me to create. She went over a body paint 101, had her brushes, and my mind was sparked. And in that time, we camouflaged some models into like a painted wall. And from there, we started working together a lot. She said I took care of the models, made sure they ate. Her brushes were clean and washed before she needed them. I understood color theory. I was open to feedback. I had a lot of feedback in that time, and it just confirmed I was in the right space. So it helped me just to trust God. If I believe I am to be in LA, not that I wish for anybody to get sick, but I could have curled up and went to sleep. I kept looking for what I wanted, and then I found something even better.
How long did you work with her? Was it just for this one event or was it ongoing?
No, so after that, there was another event. There was like an auction at a different museum, and I was able to work with her. I didn't airbrush yet. She gave me the opportunity to test, and it was just mind blowing. I just feel like this person really saw something within me that I wanted to get out. And each time it was like really mind blowing. There was a time where I painted contortionists on a stage in San Jose, and it was take the paint you need and go. And I was like, well, wait, what's the vision? What do you need? Abstract, just whatever you feel. I'm like, whoa, you're. And then she ended up giving me recognition in front of everybody. I felt like, honestly, spiritually, there was something there that wanted to confirm I was on the right path. After that, there was another project with a top automobile company that paid very well with travel. And it just kept going from there. And what touches my heart, I remember telling her, your work is too great. You're going to be all over the world. And I don't know, that was a goal for her. And she's done exactly that. But she's someone who poured into me as an artist and a person. And I'll just say it feels good being seen for who you are, especially when you're not doing it to be seen. You just want to be.
So she almost served as she almost gave you like an apprenticeship and validation and training, which is beautiful.
Yeah, that's it. It just poured into me in a deeper level. It felt like comforting. And I think when people are in positions to create opportunities for others, it's very powerful. Oh, God, it's very powerful beyond the work. I feel like I'm going to cry. I think when I extend an opportunity, like for an assistant, I pray before. I want to know how it's going to impact. Well, I don't need to know specifically how it's going to impact their life, but I want it to. I want them to know that they're deserving and worthy of it. And it's amazing how I feel that way because I was met with the same thing from her.
Is that part of where you learned it?
I think there, and also just from growing up, even though several siblings, our parents took the time to really honor who we were individually, and I've noticed I like to do that from between the art childhood experiences. I kind of take that wherever I go. It just naturally kind of happens now. Learning the person beyond what they're doing, because I think opportunities are things we prepare for, but sometimes it really just feel like more heaven sent. Yeah.
That's beautiful. We're begun. Will you return next time and share some more of your story?
Oh, for sure. This is wonderful.
Thank you, Renee.
Thank you.